So someone offered me about a week ago, someone reached out to me on LinkedIn with all of the bells and whistles and the, we want you, very Uncle Sam style, to join our startup. I was saying, we all get these outreaches, right? This is not special. I am not special. This is very common from recruiters and founders, contracted headhunters. Sounds scary, isn't. There's nothing special about me or this. But I decided to have a conversation with him. Why, you might ask, would I waste my time like that? And it's pretty easy. Sometimes it's just to network. Sometimes you learn new things. And sometimes you meet really cool people. As long as there's not a ton of time involved, it kind of always makes sense to take the meeting. As much as I'm all about ruthless prioritization, you have to leave a little bit of room for magic. But anyways, it is real. It is an actual opportunity with a team and a salary and a serious mission statement that would mean something to me. Some bait and switch defense company situation or deferred equity, which is $0, by the way, which is kind of interesting because it has teeth, this opportunity. It makes my head perk up a little bit. It is a legitimate role with a founder that specifically wants to work with me. There's also a flattery aspect to it, which is how they get you. Part of the draw is that I didn't go looking for it, right? It kind of fell into my lap. And the timing is, dare I say, suspicious, because it arrived at a moment where things are getting just a tad prickly. At this point, we're running on many months without cash injection, right? Just floating on savings, which is, it's something else. And the logical, reasonable thing to do would be at least to consider it, which is where it gets complicated because I have to ask myself a question I really don't want to answer. What specifically is making this even remotely attractive right now? People that are obsessed with their businesses don't just consider jumping ship. So what is going on? You probably know exactly what's going on, and you may even be dealing with it yourself. It's the money and the loneliness. Okay, actually that's a lie because at this point you know what an introvert I am. It's not the loneliness, it's the distribution of responsibility, the escape from accountability. When there are multiple people, there's shared blame, always, full stop. Solo founding is constant culpability in a way no one prepares you for. The idea of having a team, a co-founder, someone else to share that level of responsibility is intoxicating, especially when you're constantly at fault for months on end. It's not a fun place to be. When you're just guessing at decisions and waking up at night in a cold sweat, feeling like you failed at every corner, it's not super fun. And the work is interesting, right? This isn't some disingenuous level of interest. This could be real, cool, impactful work. You might be thinking, okay, so just take it. You're miserable and someone's offering you a life raft. Take it. And honestly, part of me agrees with you. But here's the slight problem with that logic. Problem is I can't tell if I'm interested in this because it's the right move or because I'm terrified. Because the reality is they sound the exact same from the inside. Fear yaps, this is too hard. You're going to fail. Find a safer path. And wisdom also sometimes says, be honest with yourself and your slowly draining bank account. So, it's hard to tell which one it is. So how can you possibly tell which one is talking to you? I'm going to take you through some of the ways I'm working out which to choose in case they help you the next time you're at a crossroads. The toward versus away test. You set it up like this. Am I running toward the climate startup because I am genuinely excited about it? Or am I running away from my own startup because it's hard right now? The direction of movement should help you figure out which is driving it. The remove pressure experiment. If money wasn't an issue, what a fun thought experiment, and I had unlimited runway, would I still want this opportunity? If the answer is no, then the motivation isn't philosophical, it's financial, which we sort of already knew, right? But financial motivation, while valid, isn't the same as this is the right thing to do. Let's rewind for a second, back to last episode where we looked at the horrible unmerged fixes of my life. Painful. They were all just sitting there. Is this another version of that? Do I know what to do and I'm just putting it off or hiding it? Existential questions to ask. Do I have the answer and I'm just not deploying the fix because discomfort is buzzing under my skin? And the horrible non-literary irony of this is this is the entire point of the app. This is the entire reason I was even working on it to begin with. This signal fog, the state where fear and wisdom are so deeply and irrevocably entangled that you can't tell which is which. This happens at every major life decision, and I can 100% guarantee you've experienced it before. The question is whether you, and I apparently, have the tools to effectively clear it. I'm in the fog right now. I'm making this decision from the fog. I'm in Coral. It's an SF reference. I'm not sure everyone's gonna get that. I've been sitting in this for a few days and I've run literally every test I can think of. The ones I mentioned, a couple more. I've even run the coin flip test, which if you know It's like a last resort. Here's where I'm maybe slightly possibly landing. I think the remove the pressure test is somewhat revealing. If money weren't an issue, I would keep building the app, no doubt. That does tell me something, but not as clearly as you might think, because resource scarcity is a real thing. It's a real concern. And as much as I wish it were true, I do not have unlimited funds to keep slapping down app runway. The loneliness, or lack of additional culpability, while valid, is not a good reason to leave a project I care about. It's a problem to solve in my project. It's a me problem. So if I had to choose right now, I'm not saying no out of stubbornness. I'm saying not yet, out of honesty. I haven't given this thing a real chance yet. The app hasn't launched yet. I just started this. I'm in the evidence gap. Episode 2 callback. Quitting during the app means I will literally never know. And I am too much of a curious to let that happen. But I have to be honest with myself that I may be wrong. Maybe the wisdom is to take the life raft, to scramble for any way out possible. I'm not sure, and I guess I'm okay with that. And maybe it's a both thing. Maybe there's some world in which someone gives me a life raft while I'm building my own. We're gonna soothe the nerd in me, because in the books, this is the point where the heroine is offered some way out by a friend or helpful ally and escape a warm castle, a place at someone's table. And she's so tempted, but she knows that she can't give up yet. And the journey doesn't pause just because you're a little tired. Or at least that is what the delusional version of me is using to cope. There is one more thing I realized this week that I didn't expect though. Being asked to join someone else's messy startup did clarify how I feel about my own. Before the offer, I felt like I was constantly failing. And don't get me wrong, I still feel like that, but I don't want to leave yet. Even when someone offers me money and a team, I still want to keep trying. And that reluctance to say yes means something, even if it's insane. So I don't think I'm taking the exit, at least not right now. And I want to be honest with you about why, because it's not that I'm brave and it's not that I'm remotely sure. It's literally because I can't tell the difference between that fear voice and that wisdom voice yet. And if I can't tell, I'd rather stay on the path that I chose when I was thinking clearly than switch paths while I'm in the fog. The fog will clear eventually. And when it does, I still want to be building this. Have you ever been offered a way out of something hard and in the process of considering it, realized you didn't want to leave? I know there are so many different stories about toiling with something difficult, someone offering you a way out, and that being the way out, that being the thing. But I feel like there have to be examples on the other side. What was that moment for you? Please tell me, because I'm sitting in mine right now and I have to think that there are more of us in the fog than we'd like to admit. And wisdom also sometimes says, be honest with yourself. This have the tools that are what? It's hair in my mouth.